Okay, folks, so I want to tell you about my experience today at the Denver Zoo. Um, so, first of all, it was in the 90s. It was 90 degrees. It felt more like it was, close to 100 degrees. It may have been heat index wise, I don't know. But I went there with my daughter and grandchildren, and they tried to tell me that you had to wear the mask to get in, and they said it was a state law. And I mentioned that it was not a state law, that it was, I said, because I live in the state, I live in Arvada, and it's not required there. I said, this is a Denver thing, and then the mayor did it because the governor uh, said we didn't have to anymore. It was up to the different mayors. Well, so I get in, and I could hardly breathe. It was so hot. I was breathing my own hot breath, and I pulled it down, so I could breathe a little bit better. And but it was still kind of like bouncing back up. The hot air of my own breath was bouncing back up, uh, and I felt like I was about to suffocate. Well, when we first got in, okay, so we brought water, and there were when we shortly after we got into the zoo, there was a water bottle refilling fountain, water fountain that you fill your bottle with, and but we walked for about 2 hours before there was another water bottle refill station. But about every 30, how long would you say it was, Fran?
30 seconds to a minute of walking.
About every 30 seconds to a minute of walking, there was hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer was everywhere. But there was not water everywhere, and there was not even places to get drinks. I mean, they did have a couple of places where you could get food or drink, but they were very far spaced apart. And it got so hot, I was getting dizzy, fuzzy. I couldn't think straight. I felt like I was about to have a heat stroke. I kept wanting to push through. And how did you say I was acting? I mean, I was.
You said, we need to hurry up and get to the end of this, or I'm literally gonna fall out because I'm starting to get fuzzy.
Yeah. So I was telling my daughter, she wanted me to sit down and rest a little bit, but I said I can't. I just got to keep going. I got to get out of here. Apparently, I wasn't thinking straight because I literally was about to have a heat stroke. And so they're more worried about you sanitizing your hands than they are about you actually being able to breathe and live. I mean, literally, I felt like I was about to die.
And the one guy got nasty with you. Said you need to cover your
Yeah,
nose.
some guy walking through there, I believe he worked there. He had the same shirt on. And he says, "You need to cover your nose." And I said, "I can't breathe." And I wasn't just saying that. I literally, hey, you just turned all the lights off. I literally could not breathe, and
That's a term plug too.
don't worry about it.
Okay.
So, sorry for all the crazy interruption stuff, but it's late. My eyes are bloodshot from probably heat exhaustion. But anyway, I was like really dizzy, fuzzy. I couldn't think straight, and this was going on. I couldn't even stand up straight. I was leaning on the stroller, pushing the grandson, and I just think it's ridiculous what they're doing. I wonder if anybody else has had an experience like this, to wear the mask that they tell you have to wear. I mean, honestly, I did have to pull it down. Most of the time I went through there, I pulled it down because I couldn't keep it on. I didn't want to.
Every 3 to 4 breaths.
Yeah, and my daughter, every 3 to 4 breaths.
I feel like I had my head in a pillow, just sucking in the pillow.
It felt like you had your head in a pillow, sucking the air out of a pillow in 100-degree temperature. That it's just so wrong. It's unconstitutional. So this guy tells me, you got to wear that over your nose. And when I told him I couldn't breathe, he says, well, you got to. I said, it's unconstitutional. Anyway, but
Then he kept staring at you.
and yeah, and he would sooner, some different places along the way. He would see me and he'd start staring at me. So stare at yourself. Anyway, so I'm going to get off of this. I think it might be a little bit too long, but just want to share my experience. I wonder if anybody else had that, and hope nobody has died from suffocation because of a face mask.